Well, I can't believe it. I've officially been living abroad in Japan for 1 year, so I wanted to take a moment just to reflect on everything that's happened this far. All the good, the ugly, the sweet memories and friendships I've made. It's been a whirlwind of emotions and adventure, and I've learned more this year than I've ever learned in my life. So I thought I'd share those lessons I've learned with all of you. I've always learned from others who have lived abroad that they go through what's called a honeymoon phase. Like the beginning of a new relationship, the first maybe 2-3 months will be exciting and new. Everyone will be kind, you'll meet new people, life just feels vivid and free. But as with any new relationship or big move, there will be people who think completely different from you, who you're not used to, and suddenly you realize you can't be as independent or outgoing as the person you were back home. You might have less friends, you'll find yourself in embarrassing situations, and some days you'll truly feel like you're living on another planet. But fear not, these daunting feelings don't last forever. Soon enough, you'll learn to embrace that you're like a newborn baby thrown into the world, and that's when your perspective changes. The funny thing about living abroad is that perspective is everything. In America, success to me was written on paper and seen in photos. It was graduating college, it was completing a half marathon for the first time in my life. In Japan, those accomplishments look a little bit different. Learning to bow to my superiors, asking for directions in Japanese, and finding my way to the train station, making a new friend in a bar who looks and thinks nothing like me, these were some of my biggest successes living here. A misconception is that the number of places that you travel to and how extraordinary a life you live shown on Instagram is the most successful you can be. But these things, well, they're pretty awesome, but I think they're just bonuses to the whole story. What really was special to me was having my first famichiki, dancing with my coworkers when we should have been working. These were the moments that I was most grateful for. The level of humility you feel is unmatched when you're living in a foreign country. Everything you thought you knew, everything you taught others back home, everything you took pride in being so spectacular at, well, they're not so important once you're away from home. In a foreign country, you will play the student in everyday life, always. Of course, there will be opportunities to share your culture, but those beliefs you thought were the most important will just be facts about another foreign country. This next point might be an unpopular opinion because I certainly didn't agree with it a year ago in America. I was so comfortable with my friend group. After all, we had known each other for 5, 10, 20 years, and especially becoming an adult, we tell ourselves the common cliche, I'd rather have a few close friends than 100 acquaintances. But actually, living abroad made me realize that maybe it's okay to step out of my clique sometimes. Maybe it's okay to befriend people who aren't like me. Because in the end, everyone we meet serves a purpose. There's a phrase in Japanese called ichigo ichie, which means that people come and go, and that we should treasure the unrepeatable nature of a moment. And some of my most valuable lessons came from such people. The old lady that I met at the grocery store, the man who works at the ramen shop by my house. I've realized that because I can rely on everyone that I encounter, I truly am never alone. Of course, this takes a small step of bravery on your end. You have to be willing to ask for help. You have to make small talk with someone who doesn't know your language. And soon enough, you'll realize that your support is all around you. This is definitely the worst part of living abroad. I've cried more times than I can count. I've spent many nights wishing I was in the comfort of my family. I've missed weddings, births, and tremendous moments that I can never get back. My friends back home will always be there, but over time, you tend to mourn the loss of inside jokes, the spontaneous hangouts, and simply being with people who think just like you. Unfortunately, this is just part of the experience. Sometimes you just have to make sacrifices for something bigger. And when you do get back home, your appreciation for your family and your friends skyrockets. And of course, this is definitely one of the most exciting, exhilarating, extraordinary things about living in a foreign country. You will have moments that blow your mind. You'll try things that you thought were insane just a year ago, like eating raw octopus straight from the ocean. You might even fall in love or meet your best friend. You'll meet so many people, and once you get a taste of it, your life changes forever. It's the best, absolutely best feeling in the world. This is another ironic part of moving abroad. You leave your hometown in hopes for a new chance, but you find yourself realizing how much of your hometown is instilled in who you are. You talk about your home without thinking. You feel excited to share your country's recipes, games, and jokes with everyone around you. And you begin to feel so much more thankful for the things you have back home. Here I was thinking that Japan was just ramen and sushi and robots, when in reality, I knew nothing at all. Before coming to Japan, I had thought that Japanese were just shy and polite. And boy, was I ignorant. I discovered that just like the rest of the world, there are so many types of people here. I found that some love connecting to others, and that Japan even has intimate snack bars for 2 to 3 customers to hang out. I learned that some are ridiculously funny, and that Japan has a rich culture in comedy. And, of course, that the food is extraordinary. These are all thoughts that you can't just read in books or watch in movies. You have to be there. You know the phrase, when in Rome, do as the Romans do? Well, this is something I actually contradicted for much longer than I should have. It's okay to have your own country's beliefs, but why not invite this new life into your own? Once I was able to let go of everything I thought to be true, I was not only able to connect to those around me, but live a much fuller life. If everyone was going to be naked in an onsen together, why the hell not join? I feel so much more open now that I'm able to not only embrace my own culture, but this new life I'm in now. These were my top lessons I've learned from living abroad, but of course, everyone's experience is different. So I hope you get to experience these yourself or learn some of your own. Of course, I don't believe that living abroad is some secret to happiness or anything. I think you can have these experiences even if you live in the comfort of your home. So be open, be wild, and love others as best you can. Thanks for watching.